We'll go around the table. 1, should body count matter? 2, what's your body count?
It shouldn't matter, and I don't keep a body count.
This question is kryptonite to a modern woman. How many people have you slept with? So simple, yet it stumbles all of them. I've never heard a guest give a good response to this question while also shrugging it off at the same time. There is no decent comeback for it because their behavior is indefensible and they know it.
Range of how many people you've had sexual intercourse with?
But I just like write it down on a list every time I have sex with
No,
someone.
but you could think, well, there was that guy, there was her, that guy. Like, you know, you can get a reasonable estimate. You know, reasonable estimate.
Nothing ever comes to
10
mind.
to 20. You could do a range, 10 to 20, 20 to 30. Less than 100, more than 100. There's...
I don't know. Less than 100?
Oh, okay, that's helpful. So 0 to 99.
0 to 100.
Yeah, 0 to 99. You guys can figure out from there because I don't fucking know either.
Trying to get a straight answer out of this woman is like pulling teeth. She comes across as incredibly childish and defiant. And you can tell because do you see that little glare right at the end there? Oh yeah, look at that. If looks could kill, Brian would be a dead man right now. There is just so much attitude. You can just see it concentrating. She is seething. She does not like the fact that he's asked this question because she knows it's high. She knows she's been ridden like the town bike, and she doesn't like the fact that she has to face up to it very publicly because she is being very directly confronted with the reality that her life decisions and choices have made her unattractive to men as a long-term partner. And that is almost like a death sentence for a woman. This woman is basically the female equivalent of an incel. I call these people sexual failures as a general category, but the hip and happening lingo, apparently, is to call them sinks. Single, independent, no kids.
We have a rule on this podcast. If you give a range, we have to assume it's the higher end. We have to assume, like, if you say 1 to 50, we have to say 50.
So.
It's 50 then.
Okay, if you say so.
Do you want to just tell us the body count?
No, because I don't keep track. I don't have like a notes
Is it
app.
more? Here, let me ask you. Is it?
Did you catch that right there, what you just said, really quick at the end?
No, because I don't keep track. I don't have like a notes
Is it
app.
more? Here.
No, because I don't keep track. I don't have like a notes
Is it
app.
more? Here.
No, because I don't keep track. I don't have like a notes
Is it
app.
more? Here.
What an oddly specific comment to make. Is that a thing women do? Keep a notes app on their phone of all the guys they've slept with? Man, this situation isn't so common that it's become a meme, right?
Babe, how come you have a list of like men's names in your phone? There's like 100 in here.
Oh, babe, don't look at that. It's
Oh, you know what? Don't even say it. I know it. You're planning our baby's names. Okay, I knew it. And apparently you're rooting for a guy, because that's a lot of names. Oh, looks like a lot of the names are repeated.
Oh, that must be a mistake.
They're actually ranked. Okay, so you got favorites. Okay, so we got 8 out of 10 for Ethan. Okay, bet. 7 out of 10 for Ryan. Okay. And then wet emoji out of 10 for Jaquavius. Huh. Okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess we could talk about this, but it's definitely not like a huge thing though. But yeah, that's actually wild though. I don't know why you put wet emoji though. Now that I think about it, I guess that just means you really like it. But
yeah.
But yeah. But I'm glad you're planning for it. You know what I mean? Man.
This woman almost certainly has a notes app.
More than 10.
Ballpark.
Yeah.
More than 10. More than 20.
I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
Were you on Xanax
No,
for most
why
of these
do
encounters?
I know?
Or?
I've been having sex since I was 17.
Okay. All right. What about you?
I don't think it's important, but -4.
Okay. Does body count matter? What's your body count?
I think I think, like sometimes, it can be just kind of dependent. If you're getting into a serious relationship, for me, I want them to be extremely loyal. If they're exhibiting qualities, right before we're getting into something, they're still talking to people, they're doing a lot of hookups, just because I don't do that. Like, I personally wouldn't want that in my partner.
Sure.
For my body count, that's only between me and my future partner, but I will give you that it's a single digit. You can count it on a single hand, just so nobody gets any ideas, but I don't personally.
Okay.
like it.
It's 5. And if you multiply that by 3, it's 15.
All right.
No, I don't think body count matters. I haven't asked a man what his body count was in years. I think it's more so if someone's being safe and getting tested regularly and what their views are on sex. But I do prefer monogamy, but
Okay, so it doesn't matter. So what's your body count?
I don't know. I don't keep track of it either.
Range? More than 10?
See?
Because
That's-
I don't know.
stop.
I'm old. Like I don't keep track.
Yeah.
Of
You're old? How old are
I
you?
am 25.
That's not that old.
I don't know. I'm 25. I lost my virginity at 19. Like.
Okay, 6 years. 6 years.
Yeah.
So
Why are you
what?
looking at me like that?
Yeah, for real.
Give us-
I'm just sitting here.
More than 20?
No.
Come on, be honest. If you've lost count, it's more than 20.
No, I just don't feel the need to keep track of that shit. I'm not gonna like.
Yeah.
But you can, okay, like if I'm trying to remember all the concerts I've been to, I can start counting, okay, I went to that Pearl Jam concert, I went to see this band. I might forget a couple of the bands I've seen. Oh, I forgot I went to the Warped Tour, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
There might be a few you forget, but you can start, okay, there was Roberto, there was Bartholomew, there was there was Cornelius. You can start remembering the names
Yeah,
or
but, like,
the encounters
I don't hook up a lot anymore like I used to.
anymore, but you used
So,
to
like,
hook
I
up a
just
lot.
don't think body count defines who you are in present time.
This is the lie. This is the cope. This is the game that these women play. They know it matters. They know it defines them. Your behavior does define you in some way. Maybe you learned and grew from the experience. If we're being super duper optimistic here. Maybe you did some very bad things and you grew and you changed after, you faced up to the accountability of what you did. These women obviously haven't, and that's why they're playing this little game of saying, oh, I just don't keep track because that's how much I don't think it matters. They know it matters. They know it matters. They probably even know the precise number. Although that other girl, the one who's slurring their words, that girl with the sort of emo, styled hair, pink e-girl look at the very beginning, I would bet that she's had a few encounters where she wasn't sober for them, which she probably doesn't remember. But either way, for both of these women, you know it's high. You know their partner count is very high. And that's why they don't want to disclose it.
So 50?
No.
Come on. Just start start naming the dudes.
I'm not gonna name dudes.
Here, how many?
not name
How much just
dropping.
in the military? Just in the military. How many in the military?
Like 10.
10 in the military.
Yeah.
And how long were you in the military for?
A year.
Okay, so we're gonna do the math here. So 10 in a year, lost her virginity at 19. She's now 25. 10 per year, 19, 20, 21, 22,
Well, it's not
23,
10 per
24,
year.
25.
I
70
I haven't even fucked 10 guys this year or last year or the year before that. So like my
total?
I'm no military man, but I am sure she was a desert queen.
What,
Right, but maybe you put you got all the numbers at,
I just started hooking up less the last few years. I just changed my mindset on shit.
But you
Like,
could,
You're doing like a 10 per year average.
No, you're like
10 per year, what, okay, so,
Yeah, 10 per year average, what he's saying.
but you could have done like 30 at 19 or 20.
Right.
okay.
Does that sound accurate?
No.
You want it? Okay, all right. Range 20 to 30, 40 to 50, what do we,
That's not that much, alright? I'll just leave it at that.
all right, what about you?
My body count is 3, and it absolutely does matter. That's why so many women don't want to answer the question, and that's why they lie about their body count, because inherently they know that it does matter, and it affects your ability to pair bond.
And that is about the most conservative thing that woman says for this entire episode of the Whatever podcast. I can review other clips from this podcast to show you. In fact, I plan on doing that in the coming days. But don't you simp for her. I see some of you. How desperate you are. I see some of you don't simp for any woman ever. I don't care if it's this woman or the Virgin Mary. I don't care. Don't simp for them.
Do you think that
Hot
I'm
fire.
lying about not remembering it?
I didn't say you were. I was just saying most women do.
No,
I lied.
absolutely believe
I definitely
that
lied.
you don't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 100%, I believe
you.
that.
But I knew that someone was gonna say something anyway, so I was gonna be. I'm gonna say.
That's
it.
why they say you should times it by 3. I'm not lying though.
Good for you, girl. That's the real number. I hope you find a good man.
Me too.
I think body count matters, especially for men. I think that it matters more for men than it does for women. Respectfully, I'm not going to share my body count. It's
Okay. All right.
between my husband and I and God.
Sure.
Low enough to get married, though. So
Low enough to get married. So are you saying that if it's too
And the white
high,
dress.
if it's
I've
too
been
high,
engaged.
can the woman no longer get married? Or will it make it more difficult for her?
no, I absolutely think that she can still get married. I think that it will be more difficult, and I think that's going to narrow down the demographic of the type of man that she's going to get.
For anyone who cares, a woman is biblically unqualified to be a wife if she has had male sexual partners other than her husband, outside the context of marriage. So she's not a widow, she's just a single, pre-married or unmarried woman having other partners. She is unqualified to be a man's wife. Just putting that out there.
Doesn't have to be so harsh, doesn't have to be so hurtful, but you absolutely have a choice, and you can regret the things that you've done too, and choose not to act that way in the future, and procure a man that can value you.
Sure.
Amen.
I agree with that
So-
completely.
You guys can respect her decision to not disclose it, but you like want to come on me and her for not wanting to
No,
disclose
yeah.
it.
But it's just because
She's
her.
married though, too, to be
doesn't
fair.
matter.
Oh yeah, but that's because that's because she has a husband. But
Well,
Wait
some
a minute,
people
I,
on the-
I
keep hers
actually
private,
said
but we
I'm not
can't
going
keep
to
ours.
disclose it. You kind of
Yeah,
gave
and-
them the curiosity, so that opens up the conversation to them diving into what the
Exactly.
I
number
said I
is.
also wasn't
Exactly.
going to disclose it.
I was about to say that.
I said I wasn't good. I don't want to, I don't want to disclose it. And then you said, just give me an estimate. Just give me an estimate. So then I made one up.
I'm
and
not
then you
sure
went,
if that's
oh,
the
so
first
it's
thing
She
one
you
gave
out
an
of-
estimate though. She said it's low enough to get married, and she.
Yeah, you said you don't
yeah.
know, so then I started, well, I mean, what
Well,
about
I lied.
range? You lied?
At
You
least
lied?
you can admit it. I respect that.
You lied as in it's higher than 15? About?
I honestly don't keep track. I lost my virginity, and I've
Okay. So you
like
think
I
it's
don't
probably-
I don't
probably
think it's
higher.
I don't think it's
probably
that
higher.
high. I think it's around like 15. But
I think a lot of girls don't count certain bodies. Like sometimes if it's a one night stand, you won't even count that. If the sex was bad, you won't count that. If it was just head, you won't count
no,
that.
I'm trying to count.
Counts.
I like
Oh, yeah,
don't
like
even
counting.
want to disclose, but I think
counting
it's
head.
funny. But it's like ballpark 15, 20 or something like that.
15, 20, 25, maybe.
Yeah, I'm
Maybe
trying to be as honest as possible. Genuinely,
the honesty's
like,
good.
but
Honesty
I did
is-
lie about like, yeah, because it's definitely
Honesty.
higher than 15, but like ballpark.
Word. Andrew, any thoughts on body count? You got any thoughts?
I've already seen this clip of him talking about it.
Wait, what?
I think I've seen that. It was you, right?
What?
In the clip of you going on some girl because you were, okay, maybe it wasn't you. Never mind.
You got thoughts on body count? Does body
I thought I
does
seen him
body
talk about
count
body
matter,
count already.
Andrew Wilson?
Yeah, it matters a lot. Especially seems to it doesn't seem to matter so much on men, interestingly enough. But
I'm glad you mentioned that because
men take it seriously when it comes to women, though. So women
because they don't
seem-
want to imagine their holes getting railed. That's why men don't like that.
Well, no. See, what it is actually.
Well, that's part of it. I get he's gearing up to make a point, but yeah, that's part of it. It's not a pleasant thought thinking about how the woman you're with was previously getting railed by a ton of guys.
Is that women don't care. They have a selection bias. So what happens is if men have not slept with a woman, women think there's something wrong with him. It enters into a red flag area for them.
No, I love
Not
I
only is
love
that
a
true-
virgin. I literally love a virgin. That's just not true.
Not
This woman is lying through her teeth. Okay, hypothetically, maybe one time there was some guy she liked, and he was a virgin, and then she said, oh, that's cute, because she still wanted to screw him anyways because he had all these other attributes of high status that she liked, which overrode that. No, she doesn't like the fact that men are virgins. She doesn't like a man's virginity intrinsically in and of itself as a trait in a man. Everyone knows that women shame men. They say, oh, you haven't been with a ton of guys. Or, oh, you have a small member. Or, oh, you're sexually inexperienced, etc., etc., etc. That is women's go-to shaming tactic, is to shame a man based on their sexual experience, or rather their lack thereof, implying that they are sexually undesirable because they can't get girls. Everyone knows that.
Not only is it true, but there's empirical.
It's not.
There's empirical evidence it's true.
I've taken 2 virginities as an adult, like adult men.
Mm-hmm.
I've taken
yes,
virginities.
but whatever your personal experience is doing something, that doesn't
I know, but
mean
it's so.
that doesn't mean that it's applicable.
Okay.
To everybody
Sorry.
else, right? Doesn't mean it's applicable to everybody else. So, what we find is seemingly just it seems this way, that men tend to value virtue and chastity in women a lot more than women value chastity in men.
I would have to disagree.
Based on what?
Disagree about what?
There's
specifically?
the chastity, and like women don't care about chastity in men. I don't want to date a hoe, like a guy who's had. Like,
but I mean, so this is what I mean by like the subjective metric, right?
When women say this, when women say, oh, I don't want to date a guy with a high body count because he's a hoe or something, the translation is really that I don't want to date Chad because I know that Chad doesn't want to date me. I'm rejecting him preemptively. That's what's going on here.
If a guy had slept with 2 women versus he had slept with 10 women,
yeah,
what difference does that make to you?
None.
Then you just made my point for you, or for me. Because if you don't care between the 2 to 10, which you said you didn't, if I asked
that means that I'm saying that I don't think body count for men.
No, that's not. You're rephrasing the answer. I asked you specifically if a man, right, has slept with 2 women or 10 women.
I'm too
right?
tired.
And what does it matter? And you said it doesn't matter. Right. That's my whole point. It doesn't matter to you, the person who said it matters, but to men, that matters.
I mean, like, I guess, yeah, it can matter on both sides. Like, if the body count is high.
I think there's a psychological difference, too.
Yeah.
With sex. Men treat sex more of as a physical thing.
Yeah.
Women, it's more of a mental.
Yeah. I can agree with that.
What?
That's why it affects us so much.
I mean,
that's why body count matters.
Grid 1, he's just asking, what do you offer in a relationship?
Other than
the language is a little strong. I don't want to repeat it, but this I think he also sent a question earlier on asking what are they. Oh, I think he also asked what are they looking for in a relationship. I mean, I agree with Andrew here on this one, though. Like, generally speaking, I would say men care far more about body count than do women. Are there women that would prefer men that are non-promiscuous? Absolutely. Perhaps a lot of women don't want to date a promiscuous man, but I would argue that generally speaking, women care far less about a man's sexual past in so much as if he's slept with a lot of women. I think most women, it's not as big of a deal as it is to men.
Why? But I haven't heard like anyone ask me that since high school. Like, that's so, like, it's just such a amateur question. Like, if a grown man, I'd be honest, but like if a grown man and I were like getting into a relationship or something and he was saying, what's your body count? Hey, yo, what's your body count? I'd be like,
it's immature?
I think it's just like immature.
Shaming tactics to get around a perennial truth. If a man ever asked me this, then I'd just say he's immature if he cared. You know what? That's because men are not beating down her door to get into a long-term relationship with her. Men do not want to get into a relationship with her. They're pumping and dumping. That's why no man has asked her this question. That's why she's speaking about this situation as though it were purely hypothetical.
I don't think it's like...
Are you the paragon of maturity? Did I use that?
No,
word
I'm not.
right?
I'm not
Paragon?
the paragon.
Did I use that right?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I just think it's like odd. I mean, because like if they don't see me actively like being a hoe or a slut or something.
And there you have it. Here's another key component of women's logic: out of sight, out of mind.
If they don't see me actively like being a hoe or a slut or something.
If you don't see her actively engaging in this behavior, then it might as well be as though it has had no effect on who she is as a person. It might as well be like it never happened, like she never did it. That is ridiculous logic. And this is because women are more concerned with how people feel than actual transgressions of social rules. This is why you see so much of college campuses getting turned into safe spaces or hug boxes, because it is pervaded by this feminine mindset of not hurting or offending anyone, being maximally inoffensive. And women like this will employ this mindset to say to themselves, oh, well, what he doesn't know won't hurt him. My past doesn't have any bearing on our future. What he doesn't know about me won't hurt him. It has no effect on our relationship, even when it very much does. And it would very much change and alter how a prospective partner who wanted to enter into a long-term relationship with this woman would view her.
Like, I
Your
just don't
past
understand why
matters.
would
The
like,
reason that it's ingrained in men.
is it because it's like an insecurity
No,
of
it's not
who's better?
insecurity. I'm going to tell you
I don't
why.
like to use the insecurity thing, but like
it's not because of any of that. It's because of paternity.
No, evolution is not the reason. Evolution is a lie. This woman loves to use the insecurity example just to shame men. It is her go-to. She's saying, I don't like to bring up insecurity. She totally likes to bring up insecurity. Insecurity is how women shame men. Whenever you want to hold a woman accountable for her actions, she will call you insecure. It's her go-to. It is the ace up her sleeve. It is the number one move in her playbook. Never forget that.
It's because of paternity. So how could men previous to paternity tests have more assurance that their offspring was theirs?
but like
No. Answer my question. Don't ask a question. Answer it.
That's why you can
Do you
have
think that
4
monogamy
wives as
might be a
Muslim.
really good way to help ensure that your offspring was
yeah,
yours?
when you're
Right.
when you're in a relationship, yeah, but
so one of the
why
things
would
that you can point to look at to determine this is if a woman's sleeping with a lot of different men, that she's probably
But
not
there's
going
a-
to be monogamous, and so
there-
therefore your assurance is your offspring's going to be yours far lower.
Well, more likely if like I've just a lot of like hoe men date hoe women, so it's like
What she just said is kind of true. A little bit, there is some truth to it. And I'm only pointing this out because in the coming decades, actual sexual intercourse in real life between individuals of the opposite sex, maybe in the next 30 or 40 years, will be reserved for a sort of hyper-social, hyper-charismatic elite. If you are a sub 5 as a woman in the near to not so near future, you will be either trans or non-binary. If you are a sub 7 as a man, then you will be an incel. Mark my words.
What does that have to do with my point? What does that have to do with anything
I don't know. You're like coming.
Nude, bikini, or full nude pictures of you online for free. Let's not lie, your pics are leaked, or by paying $5 to 15 one time. Why would I ever marry you? Already gave the secret away.
Already gave the secret away. Thank you, Jacama. Appreciate it.
You don't know what it feels
like,
like. Which
What
which
feels
one on
like?
the panel?
The whole
The pussy.
pussy.
You think that's the primary?
Fresh breast in your mouth. You don't know what
You,
it tastes
you think?
like.
Do you think that's the primary reason a man wants to marry a woman is her pussy or
I
her
would hope
tits?
not. I would hope not.
Okay, so your response to Jacama kind of falls flat there.
It's more about being with, I think, is what I responded to, but the marriage is like,
Okay.
These are the consequences of hoflation, as they call it. That a woman can act in such a shameless way that she still believes that even if she posts nude pictures of herself all over the internet, there will still be some man out there who wants to put a ring on that because he's just so desperate to have the real thing. This is the future that feminism has in store for us, where men are without chests, as C.S. Lewis wrote. This is utterly disturbing, deeply disquieting. Anyway, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please share it, because that is the #1 way you can help this channel grow. Please do that if you're still listening. And Red Channels will catch you in the next one.
Decided I will no longer be paying taxes. What are they gonna do, tax me more? Go ahead. I won't pay those either. Oh, I'm going to prison? The one paid for by my tax dollars? Sorry, didn't pay 'em. Now there is no prison. I am at least 3 steps ahead of the government at all times.